How to change your life in 7 days. From the overview, here's what's ahead: procrastination, awareness, planning, action, identity, commitment, execution, review, and your upcoming action items. This might be a longer one, so let's start with procrastination. Most people put their lives on hold, waiting for the right moment, perfect mood, or some external green light that never arrives. This habit of postponing is the silent killer of transformation. It tricks you into thinking you're preparing while you're really doing nothing. The truth? There's never a perfect moment, and the longer you delay, the heavier inertia becomes. Perfection is a trap. You think waiting until you feel ready is wise, but readiness is a byproduct of action, not a prerequisite. Readiness comes after you move, not before. If you don't start, the fear multiplies. The moment you act, fear dissolves, because movement itself strengthens you. No champion ever began with certainty. They started with motion and let clarity come through the process. You've likely told yourself, I'll start when timing is better, when I'm inspired, when I have more energy. These are lies disguised as logic. The truth: you're scared to leap, so you decorate your hesitation with excuses. Strip those excuses down to their bones, and you'll find fear of failure, judgment, or rejection. But these fears aren't stop signs, they're fuel. Fear is proof you're on the edge of something that actually matters. The cost of waiting is compounding paralysis. The longer you hesitate, the harder it is to break free. Action is the only solvent for stagnation. Even small movement untangles the knots in your mind. Stillness tightens them. Start with the smallest possible action. Don't overcomplicate. Open the document, pick up the phone, lace your shoes, write the first sentence. That first step shifts you from idle to alive. The first step isn't about scale, just direction. Momentum will drag bigger actions into your orbit. Think about times a single decision spiraled into a cascade of change. Power is built not from one monumental effort, but from a chain of actions linked by courage. Tomorrow is not safer than today. You think you're buying time by waiting, but time's buying you, charging interest on every wasted hour. That debt appears later as regret. Start now. Later often turns into never. Doing nothing isn't neutral. Stillness isn't rest. It's decay. Depression and doubt don't come from working too hard, but from standing still too long. If you want to meet the devil, don't do anything. He'll come to you. Too much empty space invites his voice: fear, doubt, despair. But the moment you fill life with action, he disappears. He can't survive in the presence of movement. Keep busy with the right battles. Work creates inspiration, not the other way around. Motion creates emotion, as Tony Robbins says. You don't wait for motivation. You summon it by doing the work. Think about when you felt most alive. It probably wasn't lying in bed scrolling, but when you were immersed in pursuit, even if difficult. The more you move, the less room fear has. It gets crowded out by momentum, drowned by purpose, starved by action. Every day offers two paths: wait or act. Waiting gives more of the same. Acting opens a door to the unknown. One leads to decay, the other to growth. It's never about ability. It's always about courage. Stop pretending you're powerless. Every second spent waiting is a decision to keep your life small. Your choice, and it's costing you the future you claim to want. There's power in realizing you don't actually want the future you say you do. At least then you're making a real choice. But don't be someone who talks about their dreams and does nothing. Just waits the second you act. You regain control. Stop being a victim of circumstance and start being a creator of outcomes. No one's coming to save you. Every passing second brings you closer to the end. Two ways to look at this. One, that so much time has passed and you're too far behind. A fallacy. You likely have 2, 3, even 4 times as much time left, assuming a long life. The other way, your brain convinces you're behind to keep you in the same place, afraid of change, the effort it takes, and the unknown it brings. Reframe your anxiety of the unknown as excitement. Excitement and anxiety actually feel the same in our body. If you internalize this, you'll find yourself suddenly excited about the future and the unknown instead of worried. Excited to take action, not knowing where it will lead. If you think about it, that's the beauty of life. Once you refuse to wait, the next step is to figure out exactly what you're working with right now. You can't map a path forward if you don't know your starting point. The next phase is all about brutal clarity. Let's talk about awareness. After you decided to stop waiting, the essential move is to figure out where you actually stand. You can't plan a course without knowing your starting point. Awareness isn't judging yourself harshly. It's holding up a mirror with the courage to see the truth, without filters or excuses. Most people skip this step because it's uncomfortable. But without it, every plan you make rests on sand. Awareness starts with brutal honesty. Don't keep telling yourself you'll get serious next month or that things will settle soon. The habit of ignoring or lying to yourself keeps progress out of reach. If you can't see the thing clearly, you can't reach it. Admit exactly what's working and what isn't. The more precise you are, the faster you can pivot. Be honest. Ask where you're at, what you've been avoiding, where you want to be, and what's actually holding you back. Answering those simple questions brings massive clarity. That clarity gives you an aim. Emotions can blur reality, but numbers always cut through the fog. Numbers are unemotional. Tracking your sleep, income, time usage, even your energy levels, reveals what's actually happening, not just what you feel. Many find this step difficult, but if you're done lying to yourself, it will also be the most liberating. There are plenty of things you can track for health. Sleep time, bedtime, wake time, current weight, gym progress, other health markers. For wealth, monthly, quarterly, yearly income, expenses, investments. With love, track new connections made, time spent with friends or family. Rate connections on a scale of 1 to 10. For yourself, did you meditate? How long? Did you pray? How long? Books read this week, month, quarter, year. How long did you read today? How many pages? Rate your happiness from 1 to 10. Be creative. When you can turn the intangible into something trackable, it becomes possible to improve. What gets measured gets improved, even just by being measured. Once you have numbers, you have a baseline. Improvement becomes measurable, not abstract. Data isn't there to shame you. It's feedback, like a compass showing if you're heading north or spinning in circles. Confront the truth about your body, not the one you wish you had or had years ago, but the one right now. Health is the foundation. Your energy, focus, resilience, your confidence, all rest on health. How do you actually feel waking up? Do you leap out of bed or drag yourself up? Your energy level is an honest scoreboard of your habits. Audit your sleep, food, movement, and recovery. Skipping meals, running on caffeine, staying up late scrolling, these sabotage you. Be honest. Think beyond the next 6 months. If you keep this up for the next 5, 10 years, or longer, where will it take you? Health is the vehicle for every goal. Driving it into the ground means you'll never arrive. With wealth, money is energy in material form. It's not just a bigger bank account, it's freedom. Freedom to choose your path, say no to wrong opportunities, and build life on your terms. Waiting to figure out later deepens dependency on others. Look at your finances, no flinching. How much did you make? Keep, invest in growth? Numbers never lie, and avoiding them won't make them kinder. Blaming your job or the economy doesn't change that you're the CEO of your life. Taking responsibility isn't about fault. It's about making things better. Money is a tool, not the end goal. Decide what kind of life you want and how financial resources serve it. Until you know why you want money, you'll always spend without purpose or fail to make it. When it comes to love, many use loneliness or heartbreak as reasons to freeze. They wait for circumstances or someone perfect before reaching out again. But connection doesn't come to the idle. It finds those who are moving, already becoming someone worth meeting. Waiting to feel ready to love is a lie. Readiness comes from stepping into the arena, risking rejection, allowing yourself to be seen. Send the message, make the call, show up for people already in your life. Love grows from presence and investment, not from hesitation and distance. If you keep waiting, you're protecting yourself from being hurt, but the same shield that blocks pain also blocks intimacy. Waiting may feel safe, but it stars your heart. And at the center of everything is your relationship with yourself. Stop waiting to love yourself until you've achieved more, earned more, or been validated by others. If you can't respect yourself now, you won't magically respect yourself later when you hit some milestone. Self-respect begins now, in how you treat your body, how you talk to yourself, and how seriously you take your own life. Every time you choose to wait, you tell yourself your future isn't worth acting on. Every time you choose to start now, you declare you are worthy of effort and progress. Stop waiting for life to happen. You are life. When you stop waiting, you start living. And when you start living, your identity shifts from someone who hesitates to someone who creates. Strip away the lies. Take ownership, and you'll have a clear view of your position. See your flaws without exaggeration, your strengths without arrogance, and your situation without distortion. This is the raw data you need to plot a path forward. Ask, where are you starting from? What resources do you have now? What skills are underdeveloped but salvageable? These aren't accusations. They're coordinates to follow. Without them, you'll keep running in circles. Clarity isn't about labeling yourself good or bad. It's about diagnosing reality so you can find the right solution. Sometimes you can't see your blind spots, so ask someone you trust for feedback. Yes, it can sting, but it's better to be cut by the truth than killed by denial. Feedback is a mirror for what you can't see. With the full picture, you can finally design actions that solve your problems instead of running from them. Ultimately, breaking the addiction to waiting is a single decision. The moment you say, I don't care if it's perfect. I don't care if I'm ready. I'm going anyway. That sentence can rewrite your life if you commit to it. The first taste of progress is addictive in the best way. As soon as you prove to yourself that you can move without certainty, the need for perfect timing fades. Each time you act despite hesitation, you build thicker skin. What paralyzed you soon becomes ordinary, and what felt impossible starts to feel natural. Now that you've decided to stop waiting, it's time to really look in the mirror. Where are you truly standing in terms of health, wealth, relationships, and your inner world? Before moving forward, put everything on the table. Get powerfully clear. Planning for change. Once you've faced the truth, you need a blueprint. Change doesn't come from vague wishes. It comes from structured execution. Waking up and saying, I want to change my life, without a plan is like aiming to cross the ocean with no map, compass, or supplies. You'll drift, get frustrated, and eventually give up. Planning gives direction. It creates momentum and turns overwhelming goals into manageable actions. Every effective plan has 3 parts: what you need to learn, what you need to do, and how you're going to do it. Without all 3, your plan collapses. When it comes to learning, know what skills, knowledge, and frameworks you need. If you don't know how to eat for your body, sell a product, or build a relationship, you'll keep hitting walls. Your plan must highlight gaps in your knowledge that need filling. But after learning comes doing. All the knowledge in the world means nothing if you're not actively applying it. Every skill needs real practice, real reps, and real feedback. Plans fail when they're too big, vague, or intimidating. Break your plan into small, non-negotiable steps to guard against burnout and paralysis. Every journey of growth has 3 stages. First, acquire knowledge. Second, apply it relentlessly. Third, merge learning and doing in real time so your growth compounds. The first stage is gathering knowledge, reading, listening, studying. Don't be a professional learner who never leaves the classroom. Knowledge without action just feeds the ego. Once you learn, you implement. Not with a perfect system, just with consistent action. 1,000 small steps change you faster than a single perfect strategy you never execute. You need 100 average days, not 100 perfect days. Finally, synergy. Learning while doing and doing while learning. Get feedback, adjust on the fly, and let both sides feed each other. The domino effect. Smart plans don't attack everything at once. They identify the biggest domino, the action that, if executed consistently, knocks down other obstacles at once. Focus on that domino, and resistance collapses, results accelerate. Find a single action that, done day after day, makes most other problems irrelevant. For example, Fixing your sleep improves energy, mood, and discipline. One domino, multiple wins. There are usually multiple big dominoes. Identify them and hammer away at them daily. They're the centerpiece of your plan. The action you refuse to compromise, no matter what. A plan is worthless if it isn't clear. Vague intentions like, I'll get healthier or I'll make more money, are dead on arrival. You need specifics. I'll walk for 45 minutes every morning. I'll contact 10 prospects a day. I'll write 1 page daily. Targets like these, specific and measurable, are key. Did you do them or not? The more precise the target, the easier it is to hit. Get granular. When exactly will you do it? Where? How will you track it? Unclear plans lead to unclear action, and that leads to no results. Clarity isn't fantasy. Don't promise yourself you'll run a marathon next week if you haven't jogged a mile. Anchor your plan in reality and stretch it as you grow. Planning should never become yet another way to procrastinate. Too many people craft perfect systems for weeks, but never take the first step. A plan only matters if it launches you into motion immediately. Begin before you feel ready. The best time to test your plan is today, not after polishing every detail. The first version won't be perfect and doesn't need to be. Action gives you real-world feedback that no amount of prep can match. Once you confront reality, you can adjust the plan. A plan isn't separate from your life. It has to fit inside it. If your plan feels like an extra burden on top of an overloaded schedule, you'll abandon it. Weave your plan into your identity, so actions become natural. Connect your plan to who you're becoming. When your actions feel like they belong to your future self, resistance disappears. Build your plan to last long-term. Extreme bursts without structure burn out quickly, while steady habits compound into permanent change. Once you sketch your plan, start moving. Without action, your plan is ink on paper, but once set in motion, it's the foundation for transformation. Momentum doesn't just move you forward, it shields you from the weight of empty hours. Action is medicine, and the only side effect is progress. Depression rarely visits amid movement. It creeps in during empty hours when your mind spins endlessly. The more space you leave unfilled, the more noise anxiety makes. Fill your days with forward action. Give your mind less room for doubt. Think back to a time you were fully engaged, working out, building something, locked in a project. In those moments, sadness didn't take root. Action occupied the terrain, and that terrain is your mind. Movement creates energy. It doesn't drain you, it fuels you. Lethargy says stay still, but only movement cures lethargy. If you want to meet the devil, just stop doing anything. You won't have to search for him. He'll come to you with doubts, fears, and emptiness. Too much idle time lets darkness invade. Stillness isn't peace if it's rooted in avoidance. It's decay dressed as rest. Fill your life with pursuit, or let darkness fill it for you. There's no neutral. You don't need massive action to start. What matters is beginning. The smallest consistent moves are more powerful than the biggest ones you never make. A phone call, a page written, a 10-minute workout, all tiny, all powerful. They stack quickly, building confidence for bigger steps. Don't fall into the trap of thinking only big actions matter. Small, steady moves create exponential results. The giant leaps you admire are built on quiet repetition. Consistency compounds. 10 tiny steps daily will outpace 1 giant leap a month. Always, progress belongs to the steady. The person who goes through 100 average days will always win compared to the one chasing perfection. When you move, inspiration and motivation stop matching, they show up after you act, not before. Moving first summons the forces you think you need. The longer you wait to execute, the heavier it feels. Thinking about an action often creates more resistance than the action itself. Do it fast, before hesitation poisons your resolve. Strike while the thought is fresh. Train yourself to act in seconds instead of days. When you think of something, move on it, even the smallest version. This habit builds a reflex for progress. If you want to start running, for instance, just put on your shoes and walk outside. You don't have to run. You don't even have to walk. Just put on your shoes. That simple motion breaks resistance. Every time you shrink the gap between decision and movement, hesitation loses its grip. Action multiplies, waiting decays. Movement creates exponential growth. The cost of delay is invisible but massive. A day of waiting becomes a week, then a month, then years slip by. And not all actions are equal. Some are leverage points, dominoes that, when knocked down, take out dozens of other obstacles. Identify and execute those domino actions for accelerated progress. Fix your sleep and see your energy, mood, and discipline rise. Make daily outreach a habit and watch business, money, and confidence grow. Choose one or more key dominoes and hammer at them every day until they fall. Don't scatter your effort. Discipline isn't about doing 1,000 things, but about sticking relentlessly to a few crucial ones. When the domino falls, momentum carries you. One win becomes the launch pad for 5 more. Progress becomes effortless, not because it's easy, but because inertia is now on your side. Action will meet friction, fear, self-doubt, fatigue, distractions. But resistance isn't a signal to stop. It's proof you're moving towards what matters. If an action scares you, it's the action that counts. Comfort never grows you. Resistance always does. See resistance not as a block, but as confirmation you're in the right place doing the right thing. Every push through resistance hardens your will. What felt unbearable soon becomes normal. You can't eliminate resistance, but you can prepare for it. Create an environment that favors execution. Remove distractions, set deadlines, keep tools close. The fewer obstacles between thought and action, the faster you'll move. If your phone keeps buzzing, don't expect to write. If junk food's within reach, don't expect to eat clean. Set yourself up so the right action is the easiest, and create friction for the wrong actions. Routines make action automatic. If you decide everything from scratch daily, you'll burn out and default to the path of least resistance. Scheduled action becomes as normal as brushing your teeth. The most powerful way to sustain action is to anchor it in who you believe you are. When you see yourself as someone who moves, who executes, action stops being effort and starts being automatic. Identity makes the hard things easy because they feel natural extensions of you. Ask yourself, who is the person that does what I need to do? When you identify as that person, action is just life, not negotiable. When you decide you're a runner, you don't try to run, you simply run. When you decide you're disciplined, you don't force discipline, you embody it. Once action is your default, the question isn't whether you'll move, but who you'll become while moving. That leads to deeper change, the reshaping of identity itself, the foundation that makes every action easier over time. Action gets you started, but identity keeps you going. Anyone can grind for a week or two through willpower, but unless your identity begins to shift, old habits pull you back. The real game isn't forcing behavior. It's becoming the person for whom the behavior feels natural. Habits are fragile when built only on discipline. They snap under pressure. When rooted in identity, they become unshakable. A runner doesn't debate whether to run. It's just what runners do. Identity cuts deeper than goals or routines. Goals are about what you want. Routines are about what you do. Identity is about who you are. That level of change rewires your life at the root instead of simply trimming the leaves at the surface. Start by asking, what kind of person easily does the things I struggle with? Instead of forever pushing against resistance, begin shaping yourself into someone who simply doesn't encounter that resistance. Design a self-image that carries you forward without constant force. If you want to eat healthy, don't just say, I'll try to stick to my diet. See yourself as an athlete. Athletes don't argue with themselves about junk food. They fuel up like machines. Want to build wealth? Don't just vow to save. See yourself as an investor. Investors habitually put money into growth, not impulse spending. Don't wait until you've earned it to claim a new identity. Step into it now and let your actions catch up to your vision. Identity isn't just imagination. It gets stronger every time you cast a vote for the person you want to be. Each small action is evidence. One workout for being fit, one deep conversation for presence, one disciplined money choice for financial power. These votes add up over time. You don't need a landslide every day, just a majority. The more consistent your actions, the more unshakable your identity. When the evidence stacks high enough, doubt falls away. You stop saying, "I'm trying to be disciplined," and start saying, "I am disciplined," because the proof is right in front of you. You are the proof. The hardest part of identity work is letting go of your old self. That old version is comfortable, even if destructive. Keep feeding it. You keep living under its shadow. Notice your own language. Do you still label yourself lazy, unlucky, undisciplined, or broke? These words are self-fulfilling and anchor you to the past. Don't just stop calling yourself those things. Declare who you are. Becoming. Language leads thought. Thought shapes behavior. Behavior locks an identity. Identity shifts always feel fake at first. That's normal. It always feels like a lie because you're stepping from one reality into a new one. Keep repeating it, keep living it. Eventually, it's simply who you are. Identity is shaped by what you do, but also by what surrounds you. Your environment reinforces who you're becoming or pulls you back to who you were. Trying to build a new identity in your old surroundings is like swimming against a riptide. Surround yourself with people who already embody your new identity. To become fit, spend time with fit people. To become wealthy, sit at tables where wealth is normal. Being around them pulls you up. What once felt extraordinary becomes your new normal. You copy their patterns naturally. Identity transfer happens through proximity. If you can't access these people in person, connect digitally, online communities, social media, books, courses, coaching. Identity is a long game. You don't become someone new overnight. Every act of alignment strengthens the shift. The problem isn't that identity change takes too long. It's that people quit too soon. Give yourself permission for the transition. The gap between who you are and who you're becoming is where growth happens. Stay with it even when progress feels slow. Identity grows quietly until one day it just feels normal. Professionals know this truth. Peace of mind arrives as a byproduct of identity lived fully. Amateurs chase peace and never find it because half-hearted effort keeps them restless. Professionals either win or lose, but they're at peace knowing they gave everything. That's the payoff of identity alignment. Succeed or fail, you remain whole, acting in harmony with yourself. Once identity is secured, there's only one question left. Will you fully commit? Half commitment weakens even the strongest identity. What comes next is a point of no return. Commitment. Everything you've built, awareness, planning, action, identity, means nothing if you refuse the final threshold. Commitment. Most people spend their lives in a twilight zone of half commitment, dabbling, always keeping one foot in and one out. Lukewarm living guarantees mediocrity. True change requires burning the safety net, locking the door behind you, removing every exit. Commitment is the multiplier that turns all your effort into something unbreakable. Half commitments rot you inside. You tell yourself you're trying, but deep down you know you're not all in, and that knowledge eats away at your confidence. It's either 100% or it's nothing. You're either all in or convincing yourself you're sort of in. As Gay Hendricks puts it, 99% commitment is not possible. We are either 100% or not committed at all. Many people make a lifestyle of tepid commitment. Not commitment at all, just conning themselves that they're partly committed. I adapted to the pain of early rejection by deciding not to play. If I didn't play, I wouldn't have to face losing. And if forced to play, I could always play half-heartedly. If I lost, I could say it didn't matter because I wasn't trying. It took me years to realize that if I wasn't committed, I wasn't even in the game. My body might have been on the field, but my soul was on the bench. Soulless play is worse than no play at all. This explains why many never break through. They convince themselves they're committed because they made partial efforts. But partial effort is avoidance disguised. The cost of half commitment is your own self-respect. Half commitment lets you hide. If you lose, you say, "I wasn't really trying." Ironically, half commitment is more painful than full because you never earn the rewards but carry the guilt of knowing you could have done more. Pros live differently than amateurs because of commitment. Amateurs seek peace by playing safe. They never find it. Pros know peace comes not from safety, but from giving everything. Win or lose, they experience peace because they left nothing in reserve. Amateurs distract themselves. They binge, scroll, escape to avoid the truth of half-hearted effort. Pros don't need distractions. They know they gave their all. Defeat doesn't haunt them because they left it all on the field. Commitment demands clarity of destination. You're not committing to effort. You're committing to a vision so vivid it pulls you forward when willpower fails. Without vision, commitment fades. You can't see why you suffer. Write down your ultimate vision in detail. The body you want, relationships you crave, wealth you're building, character you're forging. Without specifics, you wander. Look across all life dimensions: health, wealth, love, self, and build a vision that integrates them all. Commit to all, or imbalance will collapse progress. If you need help, book a call from the link below. The clearer your vision, the easier commitment is. See in your mind, taste it, feel it, and sacrifices feel lighter. You're not just giving up, you're exchanging for something greater. Commitment costs something. You can't commit to everything. You must ruthlessly cut distractions, comforts, and easy outs that drain energy. Real commitment means saying no 1,000 times for every yes. Every commitment requires a trade. Comfort for growth, instant pleasure for long-term victory, safety for impact. If you won't make those trades, you're not committed. You're negotiating. Look at what you're willing to sacrifice. That shows your true commitment. Words don't prove it. Sacrifice does. Commitment isn't a feeling. It's a decision locked in, regardless of mood or circumstance. Discipline is the daily expression of commitment. When you're committed, discipline isn't negotiable. It's automatic. You don't ask if you feel like working. You just do it because it's who you are. Commitment isn't a burst of intensity. It's relentless repetition, day after day, action after action, until momentum makes progress inevitable. The greatest reward isn't external success. It's internal peace. As General Patton said, if a man has done his best, what else is there? Commitment means leaving nothing behind. No second-guessing, no wondering if you could have done more. You live lighter, knowing you left it all on the field. That integrity builds an unshakable core. You stop fearing outcomes because you trust your own effort. Now reinforce every stage. Revisit the pillars and create a simple daily review system to learn and act. Execution. You have the framework. No more waiting. Assess where you are, build a plan, take action, align identity, seal it with commitment. Now, put into motion. You don't need 7 years or 7 months. You can flip your life in 7 days. Not completely, but enough to set a new trajectory. Here's a day-by-day map based on what you've learned. Day 1. Decide to stop waiting. Today ends delay. No more waiting for motivation, clarity, or circumstances. Begin now. Write down all you've postponed. Circle the one thing you've waited on most, and attack it. By day's end, prove you don't need perfect conditions. Day 2. Assess your reality. Take inventory of the 4 pillars: health, wealth, love, self. Write down raw, unfiltered facts. How do you feel physically? What's your energy? Training, sleep, food habits? Wealth, income, expenses, investments? Love, relationships energizing or draining you? Self, how do you talk to yourself? What standards do you hold? Respect yourself? By day's end, know exactly where you stand. Day 3, build the plan. Pick one domino action per pillar to unlock momentum. Health, sleep 8 hours, train, hydrate. Wealth, one income-producing daily activity. Love, meaningful connection with one person. Self, 20 minutes journaling, meditating, or reading. By day's end, have a focused plan with actions that collapse resistance. Day 4, start acting. Put the plan into motion without hesitation. No perfection, just doing. Keep wins small but consistent. Stack them. Write down accomplishments. Your brain needs proof of your new identity. Day 5, Embody your new identity. Stop trying, start being. Declare who you are and act from that place. Not forced workouts. You're an athlete. Not trying to manage money. You're an investor. Right? I am the type of person who, and fill it in. Prove it with action. Adjust environment to reflect this identity. Clean your desk, prep meals, set up your calendar. Day 6. Eliminate escape routes. Burn bridges back to your old life. No more half efforts. Identify distractions, vices, safety nets, cut one today. No exits, just forward motion. Real commitment is created here. Day 7. Cement the standard. Review the week. Stopped waiting, assessed, planned, acted, shifted, committed. Lock in your non-negotiables. Habits, standards, daily practices. Choose one domino action per pillar and commit. This is no longer a challenge. It's your new life. Momentum continues beyond 7 days. What flipped your life now will transform it over months and years. Review and action items. We discuss procrastination, awareness, planning, action, identity, commitment, execution, and your action items. Now, choose that hesitation is over. No more waiting. Declare you're all in. Write it down. Pick one domino action in each pillar. Health, wealth, love, self, and commit daily for the next 7 days. Don't overcomplicate. Don't negotiate. Just do it. Burn the bridges. Remove escape routes. Say out loud, I am 100% committed. Prove it through action until doubt is gone. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and comment on what you want next. For the free document, join the free community via the first link below. To work personally with me on implementing this, book a call from the second link. Thank you for being here. See you next time.